My name is Stacy Rose, and I'm the newest member of the Mid-Island Golf Club and Mid-Island Golfers Foundation. But before me, this club has a long and illustrious history. Assembled here are the members of that club who know the earliest days and were part of it. Let's start with Mr. Daniels. May I ask your name, where you were born, but what your lineage is?
My name is Shelton Daniels. I was born in New York City. My family is from Barbados, and I am the oldest member of this club on this panel.
My name is Terry Jackson. I've been the treasurer of the club since about 2000. My family and I grew up in New York. I have family that fought the American Revolution, and we are proud Americans and happy to be in the club.
My name is Roy Pinkhart. I was born in Birmingham. I came to New York when I was 6 months old. I grew up in Brownsville. I've been in this organization for over 30 years. I came in right after Shell Daniels did. We made tremendous strides with this club. I was president for 8 years.
My name is Max Eston. I was born in Jamaica, West Indies. I came to this country in 1955. And since being here, I have done a lot of things. I never got caught. I joined the club in 2008. I was the vice president in 2011. And I founded the foundation in 2012.
Hi, my name is Gwen Andrews, and while I'm not a member of the Mid-Island Golf Club or Foundation, my dad, retired General George A. Jones, deceased, was also a member of this club and an admirer of the brotherhood of this club. He too was of Barbadian heritage. So we share that common Caribbean rhythm and beat and perspective. And I'm proud to represent him.
So let's have a discussion about you've told us when you became members of the club. Why don't we talk about the founders and early members of the Mid-Island Golf Club?
Well, the older members started this club as the napkin boys, and many years ago, 58 years ago, and they eventually moved into becoming the Mid-Island Golf Club. They had very strict rules about becoming part of this organization. It wasn't many of them, but they used the standard that if you were good enough to come to my home, you were good enough to play golf with us. When they really came to play golf on Long Island many years ago, they had difficulty getting out on the golf courses because back then we had this issue with race. Well, they eventually convinced one of the major golf courses to allow them to play on Wednesday. Wednesday was never a good day because only women could play on Wednesday. They were allowed to play during the week. But we had legal people. We had doctors, lawyers, and civil servants that signed up to play. And when they went out to play, the people at that golf course went into the side of the course with binoculars to see how well we played. Did we know the rules? And we did. And they played well. They were gentlemen. Now golf means really gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. So we were tied in the ladies. But we played well enough to be asked after they played, we were welcome to come back anytime. And the reputation of Mid-Island started then. And we've had a tremendous amount of successful men who joined our club and who became the leaders of our club. Incidentally, we are members, life members of the NAACP. We have fought in every area, and we have veterans and people who have given their lives to be part of this country and part of what we do. Now, we had an issue a while back about the flag down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And as president, I wrote a letter to the governor asking him about the flag and telling him we cannot come back and support your state because we had paid a price as veterans. So unless you make some movement, we won't come back to support your state. As a result of that, I got a letter from Governor Hodge asking me and telling me first off to come back, that he agreed with me at the NAACP. And if we decide to come back, to let him know, because he wanted to tee up with us. We found then, and we knew before that, that if you make a statement about not doing something, let the powers to be know you're not doing it. This way you don't show up because you don't like it. You're not getting any results. But when they know it's an economic issue, then they'll make a move. This club has been the leaders in most of the things that are germane to us. Many years ago, the first black to play at the Augusta National was Joe Louis, the boxer. He was a good golfer, but he wasn't a great golfer. He played in what they call the Chitlin Circle. The first actual golfer to play there was Charlie Sifford, and he won the Los Angeles National, and he had to because the rules then was that if you win any tournament, you are eligible to play at Augusta National. Well, not tell you anything, but he had a difficult time about playing there. There's a lot of history we have, and I'm going to let Shelton, who was in the club before me, and we've been in this club for many years, and we've seen how it's grown, the kind of people that we have, and the character that we have. And the club is going very well. And having ladies in it has changed the club somewhat, but on a very positive issue. Shell, you want to take it from here?
It's the same question. You can tell us about the early founders. You can give us names. And we just really want to hear from you.
I've been in this club for over 35 years. And my father-in-law brought me in the club, Jim Carrington, and he was the former president. And just to fall back on what Roy was saying, this club made tremendous strides. When he mentioned that we were allowed to play on a golf course because we knew how to play. We played with the golf etiquette, and we were excellent in being not only kind, but being nice to people no matter how they treated us. We were allowed to open up a tournament. And when we started our scholarship tournament, what happened, we would get golfers from all over the country to play in it, because there was a time where blacks could not play in major golf courses, not only in New York, but in the northern region. You knew you couldn't play in the South, but even in the northern region, you could not play. But we were allowed to have a major golf course and have a black outing, golf outing at this course. And we had to turn golfers away because so many came to support the Mid-Island Golf Club. We also had major sponsors that supported us. So we were on the move, and we were on a big growth. And Mid-Island has come a long way. We still strive in that direction. Now the golf courses are open to us, and there are a lot of other options to young black males and young black females. Golf is at a, I wouldn't say a standstill, but at a medium. But we still strive to do what we can, and we will continue to grow golf through youth programs and through pushing for the best in whatever you do. Mid-Island not only stands for golf, but it stands for education. And there are many educators in this club. As Roy stated, there are many civil servants. There were doctors, lawyers, police, teachers, educators, principals, and many others who stepped forward to help male and female youth. It's not just golf for men, it's golf for females. And that's why we have women in our club today.
Gwen, can you tell us something about your father? and his involvement in the golf club and what you remember about the members.
What I remember most specifically was how impressed my dad was with the brotherhood and the camaraderie and the character of the members. They are working or competing, playing a sport that is competitive, but they were also very supportive of those who wanted to learn. And the games that were played at various holes made it a pleasure. He was also very humbled by the respect that he was given. If he were alive today, he would be 96, and he would probably still be playing. He always enjoyed the sport, specifically because of the history of racism and the denial that we could not have access to, and to see how time had changed that and had opened up this venue, and to see the members take pride in their game and take pride in their community service. And every time he went out, it was just, wow, he says, they're a really, really, really nice bunch of guys. And he was very honored to be a part of this group.
If I may, I'd like to add on a little bit about George. George and I were pretty close. We were combat veterans, and we would share stories about how things were over there. George, I never saw get angry. I never heard him say any bad words. But George was very serious about respecting one another. And he would say suddenly, you can't do that, you can't say that. You have to comport yourself like a gentleman, because we have earned the right. It's what we do. We're not black men, we're men who are black. And he carried that. He was a general and a good guy. And he and I were pretty tight most of the time. But he was always, when we played together, he was a good guy to play with. And most of the guys in this club, I'd say all of them, have the same mentality. They're competitive, they play well, and they maintain the golf etiquette about being good people. We had some characters in this club that were good people. Like Ted Lowry was a wonderful guy. Alan Green brought up the George Thomas Fund. We had things going that we always had. Charlie Rowley had the youth program. These are men that we should know. Jim Carrington, after he brought Charlotte, he brought me in. And at one clip, I could hit the ground with my hat. But when I did play, the first year, I got a hole in one. Most guys said they've been playing 30 years and they didn't even saw one. I haven't played less than a year and I got a hole in one. With Shell and Cease. Cease was a wonderful guy too. And Dave Bumpert. They all saw that hole in one. I haven't ever come close again. That was 30 years ago. The point is, it's what you do. It's the luck. And it's the pride of the game to do it. Now these guys here are wonderful people. They're my brothers. And sometimes, you know, our brothers get. But we all love each other, we play, and we protect their backs because we're black, because we're men, and it's the right thing to do. Mid-Island Golf Club is the flagship of metropolitan black American golf. We know the game, we play it well, and we take all competitions. At one clip, there were no whites in the club. I think we had one, maybe two. And we didn't deliberately keep them out. They wanted to see what we did, and we let them play. But if you can't, and that was a rule then, if you can't invite them to your house, you can't invite them to play at the club. And that's the rule. That is still the rule today. So we're still an upfront organization, and there are many stories I could share with you, but I guess we do have a time limit.
Yes.
But we'll pass it on.
Let me just add one point to General George. General George is one of the nicest individuals I have come across, and we were all so close. And he had done an interview with Michelle Charlesworth on ABC News. They did a special on him, and it was supposed to have been for 5 minutes. I think the interview went 15 minutes. But I said, how did the interview go? And he said that she talked to him for over 2 hours, and he was explaining his life and what he went through when he was in the service. But the last point, George was a serious man, and whenever he wanted to make a serious point, he always had this phrase, with a point, in a spate of levity. And when you heard that, you knew a serious point was coming across.
So, Terry,
Yes.
tell us, I want to, yeah, do you?
Yeah, I have some really profound memories about members of the club who are no longer here, and just the experience of being a member of the club. Mid-Island Golf Club is not just a golf club. And as a good friend of mine, Mr. Cephas Ward, who could not be here today, points out, we are lucky, some of us, most of us are lucky to have men like Roy, General Jones, Dr. Herb Gayton, Mr. Al Green, and a number of other members as mentors. Guys who showed us what we need to do, how to present ourselves on the golf course and in life. I've sat down with General Jones. I can't tell you how many times we sat down after club meetings just talking about life, what he went through, what you need to go through to go forward in life, all the mentoring that he's done for kids. This club has a history, and we hope the history continues with helping young men, not all black, and in the future women, to pursue whatever they want to do in life and to be successful.